Acolyte, the new Star Wars films or series, has been cancelled and will not be coming back for season 2. And the star of the show, Amandla Stenberg, has a lot to say about it. Apparently, she's since made a diss track in response to the kind of response and feedback she's gotten from fans. And now she's also posted a kind of I think a short video on her Instagram story, which we'll be reacting to today. Hello, everyone. Let's get right into it. All right. So first of all, I like to say first saw Amandla in a Everything film, which came out a couple of years ago, and I absolutely loved her. So I believe she's a great actress. I believe she's talented, and I believe she's a beautiful young black woman. But unfortunately, this new project did not land well for her. It just did not. It didn't do well. I'm thinking it didn't do as well as she hoped it would have done. Now, a couple of things to note here is, first of all, you're dealing with a huge fan base. Anybody who's conversant with the Star Wars films knows they have a huge stand, kind of like a huge fan base who they are like ride or die for this movies, for the Lucasfilm. And because of that, you have to tread carefully. You have to put a lot of effort. I mean, you have to kind of bring your A game if you're gonna be dealing with this kind of films. Now, if you've seen Acolyte, it is a reasonable conclusion that they didn't bring their A game. They have the star of the Squid Game series in this film, you guys, and somehow this movie still managed to flop. With the success of Squid Game, and the guy learned English for this film. You would think that would be like some kind of, I don't know, a prop, but it didn't go well. It didn't go well. Now we're reacting to the Instagram video she did, and let's get into it as quickly as we can. All right.
Hello. I thought I would get on here and just speak candidly. I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it. I don't use social media very much anymore, and I'm so happy about that. But there are many folks out there that I want to acknowledge and I want to show appreciation and love and support for. So that's why I'm hopping on here.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say I like the fact that she started this out by actually kind of appreciating the people who supported the show. The people who, I mean, to some extent, gave a positive feedback, who were like, okay, this is something maybe not what we're used to, but something that we still enjoyed. Yeah, I like the fact that she's showing appreciation for that, first and foremost.
To talk about this, which is that our Star Wars show has been canceled. And I'm gonna be transparent and say that it's not a huge shock for me. Of course, I live in the bubble of my own reality, but for those who aren't aware, there has been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced, when it was still just a concept and when no one had even seen it. And that's when we started.
Now, I would have to quickly jump in here to say, this is not to discredit what her, like she said, she lives in the bubble of her own world or whatever, but I mean, the reaction online when this show was announced, I mean, it was from the few Star Wars fans that I saw online. The reaction was not so as horrible as you would think. If anything, they were kind of like anticipating a new Star Wars show. I don't know, but let's continue.
Experiencing a rampage of I would say hyper conservative, bigotry, and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language towards us.
Oh, okay. So there goes all the big buzzwords. And I like the fact that she just goes off. The way she just like hateful language, bigotry. It's just bad writing. No good storytelling to be found, and as such, it doesn't give for an enjoyable cinematic moment. That's all.
And you know, this really affected me when I first got the job, because it's just not something, even though I anticipated it happening, it's not something you can fully understand what it feels like until it's happening to you. However, I feel like
I understand that, of course. I mean, hate in any form is still hate. Let's be realistic, and of course, that might have affected her in some way, shape, or form. But what I feel she's missing here is the reason behind this kind of extreme reaction. Like I said earlier, you're dealing with a huge fan base, and then you go out and provide this series, this show that is, according to the fans, subpar. You would have to respect their opinion. You would have to understand that they would have a reaction because of the fact that they've loved this Lucas's film ever since, and they've been a huge fan. They've followed it for a long period. Star Wars is being made for so long, and its fan, as they've stayed behind it, they've continued to enjoy it. And like I said, in anticipation of a new show, and the show comes out and it's, I mean, it's not good. Let's just call it spade a spade. I mean, you've got to understand the fans' reaction. Come on.
kind of moved through those feelings in various ways, including being vocal about it myself. For me, it just became a situation where there was no option but for me to honor my sense of ethics and my belief system and my value system while being in this very unique position. It was kind of like I had this very unique experience of experiencing the world at large, which is, of course, hyper divisive right now, through the lens of this very, very unique.
I'm not quite sure what she means by this hyper divisive word she's talking about. I mean, you're in America, and America does not constitute the world. I mean, I don't quite understand. And the show, of course, was made for a global audience, so I mean, okay.
Opportunity of being in Star Wars. And it brought up a lot for me, a lot socio-political dynamics, a lot about my own value system, how I respond to that kind of hatred, how I move through the world at large. And it just became inarguable for me at a certain point that in order to continue to be myself, I would have to honor my value system by being vocal, even within the context of working for Disney and working within the large, within the large, massive IP that is Star Wars. On that topic.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Being vocal, staying true to your value system, to what you believe. But then when you get pushback from the people you intend to kind of like be the recipient of what you've provided, then you should be able to, I think you should be able to sit back and kind of evaluate what the reason behind this heavy pushback is, I feel.
I just have to say it has been an incredible honor and dream for me to be in this universe. it still feels, even though, of course, I'm very sad about the show being canceled, and I'm sad about us not being able to give people who are invested into it more, because they'll just feel a lot of levity and joy around the fact that I got to experience it, and that people love.
Of course, of course. I mean, it's a project she poured her heart into. I would like to believe so, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I'm at least glad she got to enjoy the experience. I mean, you could learn from this experience, and maybe possibly if there is going to be another chance, that might be unlikely, but I mean, it's still an experience you can learn from. I believe so.
It, and that people were so responsive. I poured through a lot of different iterations of fan art and ship art and fan theories and things that were just so beautiful and filled my heart with joy.
This is true, by the way, guys. There are a lot of positive reactions. There are a lot of, I mean, receptive kind of people out there that actually did, to some extent, enjoyed the show. The issue the show had was just the fact that more than half of the audience just gave a negative response. That's I believe the reason. And it's obvious from the ratings. That's the major reason. Okay, I think that's basically it. She goes on to just appreciate the people, and then she says a line from the film, and that wraps it. Anyways, I just wanted to reiterate that the reason the show was cancelled was not because of bigotry, or I don't know. It's basically because the fans did not receive it well. They didn't enjoy it, and I don't think you can blame them for that. I think you can only receive the criticism and kind of take a step back to understand what went wrong. That's what I believe. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.